How's it going? So this is thoughts of a God. It's actually February the 1st tomorrow. So we've got an interesting one here, is that the government's put us into lockdown level 3. We've had this a few times, so you adapt. So it changed my routine slightly, but not a lot. So as I said, I get up the same way, go through pretty much the same beginnings, and I guess the thought I want to put out there today is what sort of mindset some change like that does. And what it does for me is encourage me to think a little bit differently. What I mean by that is most people around me have it affect them in a certain way, and how that translates onto me, and then how I project it out. And so everyone goes through their stage of it, which I find interesting, especially when it's been repeated. It's a repeated stage. It's normally just frustration and maybe a little bit of anger, a little anxiety, all those emotional sort of things surface almost instantaneously with the information. And then there's that moment of sharing the news, because it's quite sudden, well, within reason. It's not that sudden really at the moment. It's just something that's going to happen. It's disruption, isn't it? And when it happens around you with a big group, it's a little bit more interesting to see how you deal with it. How do I deal with it? And if I use self-awareness a lot, I've always sort of it's just kind of a repeated it's a repeated circumstance and a repeated event. So I just treat it like that. There's kind of a process to it now anyway. Yet other people I observe have this same heightened reaction, which of frustration and release to everybody else, which I don't get. But then again, that's how it is, and it's just a difference between how they deal with it and how I deal with it. Now, there's a good argument that helps them get it out of their system, and then they go back to normality and rational thinking, logic, and telling themselves, well, okay, I'll just do that. Oh, I can't do that tomorrow. I'll have to be patient, sit around here, do this, adjust, adapt. Because I kind of, for some reason, I mentally go into that mode almost instantly as it's said. Now, I've thought that about myself and think, well, that's why do I do that way? Is that how I'm dealing with it? Am I suppressing the emotion of the same thing? Or am I just expressing it that way, yet I still have the same level of anxiety and the same level of anxiety, same level of frustration and stuff as everybody else is having? Is it just me reasonable amount? Or am I able to play it through my mind or straight away and say, well, I mean, I do a couple of things. I have no control over that. So that's kind of where my default. Do I have control over it or not? Well, no. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, well, how long? I still get the facts of the broadcast. They said a week. What's a week? And I say, okay, that's what I'm going to do within that week. Instantly. I'm still getting up. Here it is tomorrow. I'm still getting up. Same time. I've got a plan to go for a walk. I planned my workout. The gyms are closed, so it won't be at a gym. And squash club's closed, so it won't be at a squash club. But most of the rest, not much in it, right? Can still do a lot of it. So that's where my selfish mind goes to. Family, they're going to adjust their ways. There's going to be different amounts of them around, a bit more, with the working from home style stuff. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to manage my staff and notify them and go through those people processes, which I was to an extent going to do anyway, regardless. So on a lot of the fronts, most of the process for me and myself stays the same. It's just a bit of adaptation. I can understand having more anxiety if you're in different industries. So that's definitely there. So I guess for me, thoughts of the day is from a self-evaluation. When these sorts of situations come straight away, how do I deal with them? I've outlined it pretty much. That's what I did last night. Here I am 8 hours later. That's me reviewing. How did I take that information and what did I do? Most of us, my parents were here. We talked it through and had a little bit of a session of the whys and whats and what we think. You have a little bit of that. But predominantly, my main mindset these days is I can't control it. I understand that that's in place. What do I have control over? And so in my schedule that I had for today, planned of my notes, if I look over my notes, there isn't one thing that I had planned that I cannot do. The gym or squash in the afternoon are the two things, but they are a means to an ends. So a bit of exercise, well, I can still do that. It's just not at the same place. And I'm fortunate. I mean, I got to accept that I don't have I'm not in the same industries as others. It's a Sunday here, so you got people the rest of the week aren't going to be able to do certain stuff. I'm not ignorant to know that it's affecting other people a lot more. So financially, business-wise, cost-wise, missing a trip that you're going on, you're excited to go see family and bits and pieces. So I get it. I get all that stuff. So, but ultimately, it still comes back to the same mindset, right? Regardless of what I had planned. If I was going to go to Disneyland tomorrow, well, I can't go there. I have to resynchronize my mind. So I guess that's what it is, right? It's how do you resync your mind? And by default, we will spend a fair amount of that expressing it out to others. Showing our internal anguish we project onto others. And if we have the self-awareness that we're doing that, and ultimately it's getting us nowhere. Well, it gets me nowhere, absolutely nowhere, to go on and on about what I can't do today, or what I think about the restrictions, or how I just heard from my cousin who can't do ABC. It does absolutely nothing positive, productive in my day, in their day. You just repeat the story over and over. And, interesting. I do accept through the week, next week, the projects I have, they're going to be delayed. There's going to be timelines are going to be changed. I'm going to communicate that through. But that's kind of it, right? And I still think it makes the enormity of the different event that you're thinking of impact to yourself. I still think ultimately it's the same. As I said earlier, regardless of where you are of what's going to happen to you. I can't go see my mother. I can't go see my brother. I can't. Whatever level of impact that restriction has done to you, it's the same for everybody, right? So it's exactly the same. It's only your perspective of it. And I'm not convinced it's a good idea to go on and on about what I can't do today, what I've missed out on, or what I've lost, or how much I've lost, or how much other people have lost. I accept acknowledging, I accept listening, I accept that sort of stuff. But am I to listen and then start saying, okay, then, so what can we do? So what are we going to do tomorrow? Well, I can't do. Right? Is that we're going to do it from the bottom up, are we? We'll do it from what I can't do and just dwell on that. You don't want to go with the what can I do? Can I do? Right? No. We're going to do what I can't. let's just keep going on about what I can't do. And then what we'll do is go on about what someone else can't do. And then what we'll do is we'll go on and on about what someone else has told me I can't do. And why? Why can't I? I have to wear a mask. I have to do this. Yeah. I love it. So that's my thought, is I don't get it. One thing is I'm maybe with that gap I might stream a bit more for the week. So that will be interesting.